Whether you like it or not, you're the customer service rep for your reselling business. Stop treating your buyers like they're stupid. Flip you. Welcome back. I'm Matt. I'm a part-time reseller who resells on eBay, Depop, Poshmark, Mercari, and whatnot. And today is Sunday the 4th. I have 15 orders going out from the weekend. Let's see what sold. First item is from Depop. It is this NRA hat. Oh, it has a pin as well. Millennium member, made in USA. And it sold for $8. The next two items are from Poshmark, and the first item is this pair of Forsake. If I can pull the tongue out. Hiking boots. These sold for $15. This is one of those items when you hear people say to touch your inventory. I just got done. I put up one more shelf, and I got done taking my old bins and converting them to my new bin system with the new SKU system. And there's three items. This is one of them. These sold. I forgot about these. I haven't had any send offers, any likes on Posh or whatever platforms in forever. I've had these for probably a year. And then these sold. I had another pair of boots that were in that system as well that got an offer. It was a 50% off offer, so I didn't take that. But that got an offer on another platform, and then another pair of shoes got a couple of likes on Mercari while I was up here doing it. It's great. It's just weird that, probably coincidence, but it's funny that I went in. I only changed the SKU systems in Vendu. I didn't change it on the individual platforms, and then all of a sudden these things start getting traction. But they sold for $15. This brand I do pick up. They are Lakai. These are a pair of skateboarding shoes. Just kind of basic shoes. If these were my size, I would keep them. These sold for $23, so a decent sale, but even if it was less, I like skateboarding, so I want to save this stuff and sell it to somebody who will use it. On that same note, I found this pair of Vans at the bins. If these were my size, I would have kept these as well. These sold on Whatnot for $20. Now, a lot of people wear Vans, not just skaters, but so these have a broader market. Then I have 11 orders from eBay. First is this Winchester Arms. Is this made in USA? Made in Korea, but still a vintage hat. Winchester Arms Collectors Association. It's got the scrambled egg embroidered on there. This sold for $9. This pair of kids Vans only sold for $5. I don't pick up kids stuff anymore. The only time I sell kids stuff now is if it's my kids' old stuff. Next is this pair of Allen Edmonds shoes. They sold for $21.50. And these Montrail, oh, let it fall, there we go. These Montrail trail running shoes sold for $22.50. This pair of women's Brooks Glycerin 17 sold for $17. I just listed these this morning for $19.99. Got an offer of $17 and took it. And this vintage Xbox hat made in Taiwan sold for $33. This Ariat tote bag sold for $13. And this Wilson hammer racket, what is it? Hammer 145 racket sold for $17. I've had rackets in my death pile for a while. I finally listed them as I was trying to clear out my garage and get everything put in my shop here. And I forced myself to list these, even though they're a pain in the butt to ship because I don't have the right boxes for these. The last one was ridiculous. I boxed it up, and it was just like over the dimensions a little bit, so I had to undo it, cut the box down more, and try to like get it as tight as possible so I didn't get charged $30 to ship it. And the next item I sold is this women's Adidas Climacool size small golf shirt, sold for $8. And this pair of Good American jeans, a woman's size 4, sold for $12. And the last item I have in the garage, and I've sold it now for the third time. It's that pair of Yeezys. They got returned again. Both times saying that they did not fit right. The first time they did not specify if they're too big, too small. This last time they said they were too small. They're size 10. I normally wear, and I wear 10 to 11 depending on the shoe. They felt fine on me. I got wide feet. I thought they'd be okay. I sold it for $70, I think, the first 2 times. This time I took an offer of $50. Hopefully, if they're a little snug, they're happy with the price and they don't want to return them. So on to the customer service thing. It's a pain to have to answer, dumb questions that you think are dumb. But people are trying to spend money with you. I get there's a line with so many questions and what does it smell like? How does it fit? Are they tight? Are they true to size? Everybody's different. I don't even answer a lot of those, or I answer them with I can't specify that. But to and most times when I hear complaints, I don't think people are actually berating the people. They're just venting online. So there's a difference there. But still, even that, you're their point of contact, right? You're selling it through eBay. It's shipping through the post office. They don't, like, their first thought is, where's my item? Who do I contact? I'm going to contact who sold it to me. I have that thought still when I buy stuff. I have that thought like, oh, I wonder if they, like, my first thought is to contact them and say if they have an update, even though I know, and then it comes to me and like, wait, no, they can see the same information I see. But you're their point of contact. They don't resell. They don't understand what's going on. They know they bought something from somebody. They spent their money on it, and they want their item. And sometimes things get lost in shipping and get whatever. And if it's their maybe they had a bad experience in the past. Maybe this is their first experience buying online. They automatically think they're getting scammed for something. And I get it. It's frustrating. But I guess I'm just. And I know, I guess I'm venting and complaining now, but it's like, it's annoying to hear people complain like, my sales suck, but then also like, these buyers suck, it's the buyer's fault, it's the platform's fault, it's blah, 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 when it's something you did. And you can improve on that. It sucks, I don't want to have to answer every question. I would always get questions. I sell a lot of jeans. I would always get questions, what's the thigh measurement? What's the thigh measurement? You know what I do now? I measure that, and I have that picture as one of my photos. I do the waist measurement, the rise, the thigh, the length, the opening of the leg at the bottom. I just started adding that into my listings so people would stop asking me about it. I didn't say, hey, stupid, figure it out, buy it and see if it fits. No, like, again, a lot of times when you hear these complaints, it goes hand in hand with people who are struggling reselling, so they want to blame somebody else. When you could take a book out of, if anybody knows who Jocko is, if you watch Jocko, good. Oh, my sales suck? Good. What can I do to make them better? Oh, people are asking me questions? Good. What can I do to make them stop asking questions? What can I improve on? Take ownership in your business, in your listings, in your customer service. Take ownership and make things better. That's it for today. It is 9:15. I got to get this stuff shipped out. See you back here in a few days. And we are back. Today is Tuesday the 6th. I have, I believe, 9 orders going out. Sold something on every platform except for Macari. Let's start with Depop. First is this denim vest. It's a Massimo Supply. Not a good brand. I believe this was my wife's or daughter's. It's a woman's size medium. It only sold for $7. Next is a pair of jeans that I have in the garage because I'm working into that box right now. It's a pair of YMI jeans, and they sold for $15. Next is Poshmark. I have 3 sales. First is this pair of women's Levi's jean shorts. They are a classic shorts, size 18W, and these sold for $11. Next is this pair of, wait for it, Converse All-Stars. These are the Chuck Taylor 2s, and the difference is they're just more comfortable. They're basically like a PF Flyer. They're white, but they are stained up. A little dingy. These sold for $25. High tops sell pretty good. Better than low tops for sure. Converse 2 or the Converse 70s. Is that the new? Maybe the 70s are like the PF Flyers. Anyways, those ones do better than the regular ones. And then I sold another pair of shoes that was in my old bin SKU system that I updated and moved everything over to these new bins. Which is, again, weird that these things are getting traction now. All I did was go into Vendu and change the SKU. I didn't do anything else. And it is this pair of MBT. I don't remember what that stands for, if it says anything, but they're like orthopedic walking shoes. These are leather. These are a men's size 8 to 8.5, and they sold for $50. Next is this Toy Story Zerg gun. It shoots little balls out of here. I don't have any. Oh, I didn't realize I left batteries in there. I gotta take the batteries out. Electronics at my bins are only 69 cents a pound, so anything that takes batteries or plugs in, this only sold for $10. And I got 3 pairs of pants that sold on eBay. First is this pair of Lucky Brand 121 men's size 36 by 30, and these only sold for $13. And the next pair of pants is paper, denim, and cloth. These are, I believe, a women's. They're kind of like a boot cut, really light, kind of a flare at the end there. They are a women's size 26, and these sold for $14. Then I sold this pair of Duluth Trading with women's kind of hiking pants. These are a nice pair of pants. And to go on trend, 13, 14. These sold for 15. These are a women's 6 by 29. I've had them for a bit, so I took an offer. And that is it for today. And to continue on with what I was talking about earlier in the video, it's hard to think this way, but what you do affects other resales, even if it's slightly. If you scare buyers off of the platforms, then that affects all of us. But there's so many buyers out there, you know, is it going to make a big difference? No. And am I going to let somebody else dictate my success? No. I'm gonna bust things out. I'm gonna make sure I pack everything well. I ship everything on time. I have a SKU system where I can find everything. I'm gonna be on point with everything I do, and I'm gonna outwork everybody to make sure I succeed. You should do the same thing. Catch you back here in a few days. Let's see what else sold. And we are back. I got 6 orders going out today, but first I need to amend 1 order. Unfortunately, I had to cancel the big order of the week, which was this pair of MBT orthopedic shoes, whatever they are. They sold for $50, but when I went to ship them, did 1 final bend test, and boom, look at that. Turned them into clogs real quick. One of 2 things happened. One of 3 things happened. I either did not do a kind of stress test at all at the bins, which is unlikely but possible, or when I did do it, I grabbed it like this and was just looking at the sole. I was like, okay, that's good. And I didn't grab it from here like I did the other day when I went to ship it. I grabbed it like that and it just fell apart. Or being in my storage here, it's not climate controlled. How long have I had these? I've probably had these for a year, maybe over a year. So it's gone through winter, summer. It's starting to get hot again now. That could have affected it. I don't know. But it sucked when it happened. You shouldn't see my face. Like, oh no. I could have gotten mad. I could have came up with some excuse of why it was somebody else's fault. But in the end, it's my fault. And better than that, I know what I need to work on now. I am going to get a mini split in here, hopefully this year, but I definitely need to slow down and make sure I'm testing things more, that I'm inspecting things, make sure I'm checking it. So again, something went wrong. Good. Now I know what to work on. Now on to the sales. The first platform is Whatnot. I sold this Element Skateboards vest. Sold for $20. And I got 2 orders from eBay. First is this pair of men's Walter Hagen golf pants. They're gray, size 40 by 30, and these sold for $15. And then this lot, I already got it packed up, of 6 medium skateboard shirts, different brands, also sold for $15. And the winning platform for today is Poshmark. I only have 3 items sold, but they still beat the other platforms. First is this Black Rifle coffee mesh hat, sold for $11. This women's pearl snap Salt Valley Western button-up shirt sold for $15. And this pair of combat boots, these are actually Reebok. I've never seen these. I've seen Nike ones. These are a size 16. These are crazy. I always look up combat boots. They can do pretty good. Nike makes a pair, and you can't, if you just look at them real quick, you might not notice it's Nike. The tag inside says Nike, and then there's just a small swoosh on the sole here. So I feel like a lot of people pass them up because they don't realize that they're Nike. And I feel like a lot of people at my bins don't like to buy the boots for some reason. They don't want to pay $2 or $3. I believe the Army allows you to wear other brand of boots. So they'll buy Nike. This is the first time I've seen Reebok, but different brands of combat boots, they're allowed to wear them. And the Army, I believe, but these sold for $45. That's it for me this week. Not as good as the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks have been really, really good for me. I think this is kind of more on par to what I normally make. So let's break down these sales and see how much I truly made. So that was 29 sales for the week for a total of $505. I take 15% for the platforms for their fees, which is $75.75. That gives me $429.25. Take another 15% for taxes, which is $64.38, and that gives me $364.87. My average buy cost is just over $2, like $2.02 or something right now. So again, 29 sales, $58 and some change. So that gives me $306 in my pocket for the week. Better than I thought it was going to be, but this is about average for me, I think. Those last 2 weeks have been really great. Hope to get back to that. I'm listing 5 items a day. I'm just trying to keep this thing rolling. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless. Peace.